Was this girl named Jennifer, and she had a cat named Francisco. Now, Francisco was this black cat that was a stray that she rescued one day, and he loved being outside. So during the day, she would let him roam around outdoors, and then at night, let him back in. Well, as usual, one morning, he goes to the back door, starts scratching and meowing, so she lets Francisco out. Well, that night, Francisco never comes back home. So she's very, worried. The next night, right? Francisco once again does not come back, which is unusual because like every night he would return. Finally, the third night, she is just frantic and like, I don't know if something happened to him. I hope he returns. And then at the back door, she hears meowing and something scratching. And when she goes to open the door, there's Francisco. So she's so excited to see him that she picks him up and starts giving him a hug. However, he doesn't like this. He, lets off a loud meow and then just jumps down on the ground and takes off running. Which was odd because Francisco was always this very affectionate cat. The next day, she started noticing that Francisco was acting really weird. He was tearing up things. He wasn't using the litter box, but he was going all over the floor. And he just seemed very reluctant to be close to Jennifer. Well, that night she goes to bed. And she wakes up in the middle of the night to Francisco, who is sitting on her chest, just staring at her. And he's got his claws extended, pushed into her skin to where it actually hurts. And she's like, Francisco, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she said the look that Francisco gave her was like he wanted to hurt her. So she, lifts him up, throws him on the ground, and he just takes off running out of the room. The next morning when she wakes up, she sees that Francisco has completely destroyed the entire house, ripped up pictures and the couch and everything, which once again was unlike Francisco. So she says, you know what? Tomorrow, Francisco, I am taking you to the vet. We're getting you checked out because something's not right. So that night, she decides she's going to put Francisco in a kennel. So she puts him in the kennel in the front living room, and she goes to bed. About 12:30 in the morning, she hears a crashing sound, and she hears her front door opened. So she's freaking out, did someone just break in the house or what's going on? So she grabs a baseball bat, she walks out down the hallway and goes into the living room, and she can see that the front door is clearly open. She searches the house, she doesn't find anybody. But when she goes back in the living room to close the door, she sees Francisco's kennel is open and he's now missing. So she runs right away back to her room to call the police because she thinks someone has stolen him. And as she's walking down the hallway, Francisco jumps out at her and just starts attacking her. And he's clawing her and he's biting her. And she throws him on the ground and he comes running back and just keeps attacking her. Well, she noticed that there was this crucifix that she had been given as a young girl in her church that she had hanging on the wall that had been knocked down by Francisco. And she grabs the crucifix and puts it next to Francisco. He jumps down and takes off running out the front door. Well, she closes up the front door and is like, Francisco is not coming back. He's on his own. He can live on the streets. Well, about a day or two later, she ends up getting a call from her friend who said she's coming over. She has something important she has to tell her. So her friend shows up and she's got this bag and she comes inside and she goes, I don't know how to break this to you, but about a couple days ago, I had found Francisco and he had been hit by a car. I had him cremated. Here's his collar and here's everything. But I didn't know how to break the news to you because I knew you'd be so distraught. And instantly, Jennifer is like, well, who was that cat that was inside my house because it had the exact same collar that her friend had brought her.